Okay, so I can see some people are already here. Assalamu alaikum to all of you. आप लोगों को I hope मेरी आवाज आ रही है बिल्कुल ठीक से. Yes. Some of you can also type the message and check, and also acknowledge and confirm if you can see me, you can hear me. आवाज बिल्कुल clear है. I'm hoping. Yep. Fingers crossed. Let's begin. Yes. Oh wow, wonderful. So welcome all of you. So I can see some of the people are already replying here. So Nadia Huda and Saqib Shah, Mohammed Bakas, Sharmeen, thank you so much for joining me. Some of the people I believe are joining me first time here for this kind of webinar, and of course some of you have had a recent session training program या कोई sessions हमारा हो चुका है recently. So some of you are actually joining me, जिनके साथ अभी मेरी शायद कुछ अरसे पहले ही मुलाकात हुई होगी in the last few weeks. And apart from that, I believe we also have the Jubilee team with us. So I'm overwhelmed. I got to know that around, I guess, 36 people are joining us from the Jubilee team only. So great to have you all here. Welcome you all here. Once again, Assalamu alaikum to all of you. And let's begin this session now. So it's time, let's start with all the people here. And the session is called Communicate with Power. So communicate with power and in a VUCA world. So मैं छोटा सा introduction दे देता हूँ. Let's start with the VUCA world. What's that about? And why is there a need to communicate better than before now? And with ever-changing scenarios around us, why is there all the more need for communicating with power? So let's talk about that a little bit. हम थोड़ी सी इसके बारे में बात करेंगे, the things that will be changing, the aspects of communication we might need to see again, and we need to acknowledge the change. लेकिन कुछ ऐसे rules हैं जिनको हम ageless कहते हैं. So these things are the ones that कुछ aspects ऐसे हैं जो कि हमेशा साथ रहेंगे, especially when you talk about communication. So we'll talk about both the things, the change that's coming in and also the stuff that's not changing. So we'll see both of them. हमारे पास लोग हैं from all different organizations, a lot of varied backgrounds as well. तो हम कोशिश करेंगे एक तो कि इसको बहुत ज़्यादा technical ना रखें, तो थोड़ा सा सबके level पे बात हो, थोड़ा सा balance हो और सबके लिए कुछ ना कुछ इस session में मौजूद हो. So बहुत ज़्यादा bouncer ना हो जो सर से गुजर जाए. The PSL season is on, hence the example. So we'll try to do that. And apart from that, इससे पहले कि मैं शुरू करूं, I want to mention 2 books here, जिससे कि कुछ ideas drive हुए हैं, जो कि आज के session में कुछ ideas हम discuss करेंगे. एक book अगर आपके पास writing pad है, आप वहाँ पे लिख सकते हैं, या आप चाहें तो अपने phone के message box में भी लिख सकते हैं, कहीं और भी लिख सकते हैं. So you can note down these 2 books, which are wonderful. Lot of learning I got from them. And इसमें से कुछ ideas drive करके हम आज भी बात करेंगे. पहली किताब है The Only Business Writing Book You Will Ever Need. The writer of the book is Laura Brown. The Only Business Writing Book You Will Ever Need. So this is amazing for business writing, and you will get to learn a lot through that. The other one, that some of the ideas from this one I want to discuss also, which is Communication Power. So Communication Power is by Manuel Castells. Communication Power, बहुत आसान सा नाम है. So you can note down both these books, Communication Power and The Only Business Writing You Will Ever Need. And let's begin. So हम शुरू करते हैं with the VUCA World. What is that? And 2 बातें मुझे छोटी सी यहाँ पर discuss करनी है. The first one is the VUCA, the acronym. ये कहाँ से? VUCA. ये acronym का मतलब क्या होगा? So V, every letter will stand for something here. So the first मैं लिख भी देता हूँ. एक request आई है to write the names of the books here. और दूसरी है, these are the names of the 2 books. I hope you got them. Okay, so yes, I was talking about the VUCA word. So VUCA, actually the acronym is VUCA. So V actually means the volatile. Volatile, the U is for uncertain, C is for complex and A is for ambiguous. So how is this word VUCA? अब उर्दू में समझाना थोड़ा सा मेरे लिए भी मुश्किल है. So I'll try, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ to give you the opposites of these words to have a better understanding of them. So volatile, something that cannot be predicted, kind of unstable. So opposite of volatile will be stable. The opposite of uncertain will be certain. Certain यानी कि sure. So uncertain will be unsure. Complex will be like simple. उसका जो opposite होगा वो होगा simple या linear. Complex उसका opposite होगा. Or ambiguous का opposite होगा that is something that is clear. So ambiguous is kind of unclear. So how is this world kind of becoming a VUCA world? The volatile, it has a lot of complexity, ambiguous. Actually, थोड़ा सा इसका history शुरू होती है decades ago, and there was a tiff between the US and Russia. और एक ज़माना आया जब कि बाकायदा war नहीं हुई थी. There was like a cold war kind of a situation. So they started using this acronym in the military. The US military actually started this acronym. और उनका कहने का मकसद ये होता था कि VUCA सिनेरियो है या VUCA वर्ल्ड out there, because VUCA वर्ल्ड जो था यहाँ पे वॉर के लिए ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल हो रहा था, because there was कुछ पता नहीं था कि अगली स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होगी USSR की तरफ से. So they started using it quite often, and then they also indulged in those strategies जहाँ पे कि उनको भी थोड़ा complexity से डील करना था. बहुत ज़्यादा ambiguous situation थी, कुछ पता नहीं था कि next step क्या होगा दुश्मन का, हमारा next step क्या होना चाहिए. And hence, when it was transferred into business also, because the business started changing more rapidly. तो हम सब ने देखा कि पिछले 2-3 decades में business जिस तेज रफ्तारी के साथ बदला, and we saw that especially now the biggest businesses in the world are all related to something कुछ भी virtual से related ज़्यादा है. So there was a time जब brick and mortar business ज़्यादा demand में था, and up brick and mortar businesses ज़्यादा हमें नए ideas, innovations, virtual ज़्यादा चीजें नजर आती है. So in business also, then business people and the legends of business and leadership gurus started using them also. और यहाँ से ये आना शुरू हो गया कि even the business world is a VUCA world. तो हमें पता नहीं है complexities of business हो सकती हैं. In all this scenario, the communication, because communication is a vital skill. ये एक लाइफ स्किल है, एक सबसे ज्यादा एसेंशियल और वाइटल स्किल है जो कि बिजनेस वर्ल्ड में भी जरूरत होती है. तो हाउ इज दिस पॉसिबल दैट द एंटायर वर्ल्ड इज चेंजिंग बट द कम्युनिकेशन स्किल एंड द एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन आर नॉट? So obviously when the world changes, the business changes, so does the communication skill की strategies as well. So आज हम थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बात करते हैं, और इसीलिए भी इसके बारे में बात करना जरूरी है, बिकॉज या तो आपके बिजनेस में चेंज आ रहा है और क्वाइट एविडेंट इट इज, आपको नजर आ रहा है अपने किस तेज रफ्तारी के साथ इनोवेशन जगह ले रही है, क्रिएटिविटी बिजनेस को चेंज कर रही है. क्या आपने नोटिस किया है पिछले 10 सालों में अपने मैनेजर्स को बदलते हुए, या जो सब ऑर्डिनेट जो न्यू हायर्स हैं उनके एटीट्यूड में क्या फर्क आ रहा है? हमें फर्क हर जगह पे नजर आता है. तो इसके साथ साथ क्या ही अच्छा हो कि हम अभी उसके लिए तैयारी करें जो मजीद फर्क नजर आने वाला है, बिकॉज इट्स द चेंजिंग वर्ल्ड, एवर चेंजिंग, बट इफ नॉट क्वाइट VUCA देन इट इज गोइंग टू बी सून इन योर बिजनेस एज वेल. तो उसके लिए व्हाट कैन वी डू? सो आई रिमेंबर अ कोट ऑफ जॉन एफ कैनेडी who says that the right time or the best time to repair a roof is the time when the sun is shining. कि जब सूरज निकला हो, धूप हो, वो सही टाइम to repair your roof. बाद में छत जब बारिश हो रही हो उस वक्त बनाने के लिए it's too late. So it's better to prepare yourself right now for it. And मेरे पास एक क्वेश्चन आया. I hope you all can see me clearly. Can you? Yes. कोई रिप्लाई कर सकता है मुझे? I hope everyone can see me clearly. Yes, awesome, wonderful. So I've got some replies. Awesome. So good to know that you are with me. मैं कुछ देर में कुछ questions include करता हूँ, so get some kind of it to make it more interactive also. So some of the people who have attended my sessions kind of a review for you also, but हम also कुछ नए ideas को इसमें discuss करते हैं. Let me ask you some questions. So Warren Bennis and Bennis and Nanus, these are the two gurus who have talked about leadership strategies and the strategic leadership in the VUCA world as well. और इनकी बहुत ज़बरदस्त, अगर आपने इनको नहीं पढ़ा, you can read them. And they talk about the 4 strategies for leadership and then 13 characteristics, if I remember correctly. So Warren Bennis एक जगह पे लिखते हैं कि a leader, good leaders are the ones who understand themselves and they have the vision and the ability to transfer that vision to other people. But transfer कर सकते हैं, उनके पास vision होता है, लेकिन पहली बात जहाँ से शुरू की, जुमले का पहला हिस्सा, who understand themselves. तो that is something to do with communication. How? मैं एक example यहाँ पे usually अपने sessions में use करता हूँ. तो I have a question for you here. आप एक काम करें, if you have a writing pad, you can write the answer of this question. You get 10 seconds to think about it and then you have to write the name. सिर्फ एक नाम लिखना है आपने, वही इसका जवाब होगा. आप चाहे तो फोन में भी लिख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे भी जवाब दे सकते हैं. Not if you have attended my session recently. तो अगर आपने अभी पिछले कुछ हफ्तों में मेरा सेशन अटेंड किया तो ये बात आपको ऑलरेडी crystal clear होगी. You don't need to write that. So people who are joining me first time, you can try this out. And the question is very simple. At work, who is the most important person you communicate with? अपने जॉब पर, अपने बिजनेस में, who is the most important person that you have to communicate with? Just write one name. That's it. आपको सिर्फ एक नाम लिखना है. That's it. Oh wow, wonderful. मैं और 10 सेकंड रुक जाता हूँ. If somebody is thinking, you can write it down. Wow, super, super, awesome. So as expected, I've got 4 or 5 answers right away. Boss, line manager, and my manager, and my team lead. I hope किसी ने subordinate भी लिखा होगा शायद. So some people give a lot of importance to the subordinates as well. That's good to know always. So, but the correct answer for this one, and usually I mentioned there's no one answer to a lot of questions. बहुत सारे सवालात के जवाबात होते हैं. अलग-अलग ज़ाविये से हम उसको देख सकते हैं. But there is only one correct answer to this one, and the correct answer is yourself. So the most important person at work, and somebody might say, "Yeah, what trick question खेला?" Because you started with at work. So at work, I'm especially asking at work because at work also, the first and the foremost, most important person you communicate with is yourself. So how you begin is, so a lot of times people might argue over this, but a simple example of this is that when a lot of times you go to your boss and you present an idea and the idea is not approved, you need to ask yourself first, were you convinced with the idea? And that is exactly what we call the intrapersonal communication. तो हम interpersonal communication की बात करते हैं बहुत सारी दफा. So you deal with people, communication is changing, or the need is all the more growing now for interpersonal communication, people skills. But first and foremost, the thing that will give you a benefit, that is the intrapersonal communication. So इसका सही जवाब होगा your own name. And if you wrote that, I think one person has written that also. So kudos to you. That's the correct answer. And then of course you talk to other people as well. But a lot of times it helps you out in a way, because when you get better at intrapersonal communication, पहली चीज जो आपको फायदा देती है, that is the self-awareness. So you improve on it. And when you are better aware about yourself, you actually know this idea में दम है या नहीं. You don't believe in it yourself. How can you present it to someone else? So first thing is self-awareness. After that, you go, and of course, with self-awareness comes self-confidence. So आमतौर पे 2 तरह का confidence हम देखते हैं अपने इर्द-गिर्द. So एक confidence है कि मैं कर लूँगा, मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. You can, I'll just, किसी भी चीज में आपने हाथ डाल दिया and you say, I'll give my best and I'll get it done. कोई भी कर सकता है, मैं उससे अच्छा कर सकता हूँ. Sooner or later, you might fail at it someday, and you might realize कि अच्छा वैसे ही claim तो कर दिया था, but I'm not able to probably do it the best. Because that was just confidence without any proof before that. When you have self-awareness, and with awareness, you have done something 4 times before, the 5th time आपका confidence का level क्या है? So that is something जो आपने जांच के, देख भाल के, and then now you are better confident that yes, I know I can. And that goes for self-motivation as well. तो वहाँ से आपका motivation level बढ़ना शुरू होता है. So self-awareness first. That provides you with better confidence, self-confidence. Eventually, motivation, self-motivation. And that is it. Then you are better secure, you're more comfortable in your skin, so you are able to get you are better able to get better perspective of other people also. So आप ज़्यादा objectivity अपने अंदर महसूस करते हैं with intrapersonal communication. I'm talking about talking to yourself first, okay? So talking to yourself doesn't always have to be verbal with a lot of voice. It can be writing. So daily diaries का रिवाज अब हमारे पास खत्म होता जा रहा है. But there are a lot of ways to it. And then you get new ideas, you think about it, and then you talk to yourself that way. And then when you're able to be more comfortable in your skin with better perspective, ज़्यादा अच्छा perspective आपको बनाता है ज़्यादा adaptable. So these are the 5 things that एक जिस तरह हम सीढ़ी चढ़ते जाते हैं एक-एक करके. So self-awareness goes into self-confidence, then motivation, then you go for better perspective understanding, and then in the end, adaptability and flexibility is visible, which is an essential skill for a professional of today. So ये बात रही पहले अपने आप से बात करने. And then of course, बहुत सारी इससे related बहुत सारी हमारे पास I like to say myths होती हैं communication. So you feel that a lot of ideas are there जो कि आपको लगता है कि वो actually में misconception है. So in the old days, और आपके इर्द गिर्द आपको लगा बहुत दफा आपने देखा हो शायद कि बहुत सारे लोग ideas पे believe करते हैं what is communication, but it's a myth. It's not true. So a common example है, especially in this part of the world, in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. So we like to believe that communication is actually English language. So you might have experienced that. I hope आप में से शायद कुछ लोग believe भी करते हो, but I hope सारे लोग ऐसा ना सोचते हो. So English is an essential thing. अब आजकल के ज़माने में और पहले से भी पिछले काफी decades से हम ये सुनते आ रहे हैं, देखते आ रहे हैं the importance of English language. And of course, it provides you with better understanding of different cultures. आप बहुत सारी नई किताबें पढ़ना शुरू होते हैं, different ideas को समझते हैं, and it's always a very useful skill to have. But having said that, communication is not just about English language. So it's beyond that. इसका simple proof आपके सामने है कि communication की जो सबसे ज़्यादा training workshops होते हैं, जो trainings होती हैं, जो learning programs होते हैं related to communication that are not in this part of the world. So you can see in the West, people are investing more for communication, for training themselves for better communication skills. ये वो लोग हैं जिनकी पहली ज़बान अंग्रेजी है. So they are the native English speakers, but despite they would invest a lot in the communication skills, especially the graduates from all the good universities around the world. They like to do the same. So जैसे जैसे promotion होता जाए, जैसे जैसे आप ज़्यादा senior management पे जाते जाते, you like to invest more in your communications. And we all are in the same boat, by the way. So somebody who's a communication coach like me is also learning to communicate better every day with people around me, with myself also, and anyone जो कि शायद पढ़ाता भी हो इस subject को, but still we all are learning. So we are students there. Okay, so that is one of the myths that English is directly proportional to communication. It can be in some ways. When you learn English, you feel more confident and you're more open to a lot of different ideas. But having said that, it's a different skill that you need to work on. A lot of times people also end up thinking that people are born with it. So yes, they are. कुछ लोगों को हमेशा advantage मिलता है. Naturally, they are more talented. They have this skill inbuilt in them. जैसे कि public speaking की आमतौर पे हम बात देखते हैं, people are a lot hesitant there कि एक audience के सामने आके बात करना is actually very very difficult for a lot of people. And people say नहीं वो शख्स इसके साथ पैदा हुआ है. He has this skill. I just cannot do it. Now उसके साथ पैदा हुआ है, you might be true, but you cannot do it is somewhere I would disagree with you. So the moment you think that it is a skill that people are born with, हो सकता है कुछ लोगों को naturally advantage हो, but you always remember that you too can do it very well and any time in your life that you want to. You can do it. So there is no problem there. So I would like to quote Brian Tracy here, one of my favorite writers. So he says, every skill in the world is learnable. कोई भी skill जो आप दुनिया में सीखना चाहें, communication हो या कोई और, is quite learnable. So that is a word of motivation for anyone and everyone who is who's trying to learn something new and facing some hurdles maybe. Okay, and with the myths, by the way, since the times are changing, one more thing that's happening is that a lot of people say that, okay, it has become very fast. So क्योंकि ज़माना change हो रहा है, तो communication तेज हो गया. So it's a time of thinking fast. It's the time of reacting fast. It's the time of replying fast. It's the time of is the time when speed is preferred over detailing. And fortunately or unfortunately, ये बात हम सबको अब समझनी पड़ेगी, that yes, it is a fact where speed is maybe at times preferred over detailing. तो बहुत सारी दफा ऐसा हो सकता है कि you have the best of the work, but you are late at replying or you are late at applying somewhere and you have lost that opportunity. Communicating is no different here, and it is the same thing कि आपको यहाँ पर speed दिखानी पड़ेगी. Speed से मेरा मतलब ये भी है कि we gotta be more concise. तो आज के in the changing world, in this era, जितनी ज़्यादा concise और to the point बात, to the point communication की जितनी importance आज है, शायद पहले कभी नहीं. Okay. So a former colleague of mine used to say कि जब हम VUCA World की बात करते हैं, he used to say कि VUCA World तो हमेशा से, the world has always been VUCA. हमेशा से volatile होती है, हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ ambiguity आती है, complexities हमेशा होती है. But I like to say कि ये वाली जो change है, the change is more visible and more quick now. So this kind of a change we didn't see before. So हम देखते थे पुराने ज़माने में कि पुरानी generation में हमारे पास generation gap पहले भी होता था. But we used to have, after 20 years of time, we used to have a generation gap. कि ये शख्स, ये लोग हमसे 20 साल पुराने हैं, तो शायद मुश्किल है इनसे communicate करना. But now we see, if somebody who's 4 or 5 years younger to you, you might even have generation gap with them. The conversations are different. The gadgets that they're using, the apps that they're using, they might be different from yours. So it's changing more than before, and very rapid changes are quite evident. तो उसी के साथ साथ, it's all the more need now to make your message and communication more concise. So especially जब हम written communication की बात करते हैं, and many people might be interested in that also. So थोड़ी देर में हम सवालात भी लेते हैं इससे related. So written communication में भी, this is all the more important now when you're writing emails, the professionals लिखते हैं, and any kind of writing that you're doing, it's always appreciated that the message is very concise and to the point. So आप पूरा एक paragraph warm up में अब ज़ाया करना afford नहीं कर सकते. Neither do people have that much time nor attention. So even if they are willing to read your email after seeing your subject, and it starts with the subject right away, by the way. So जब आप subject choose करते हैं अपनी email का, and it is often said कि 40 alphabets से ज़्यादा का subject is not appreciated. So any subject that you are writing has to be complete. उसमें बात पूरी समझ आनी चाहिए. So when you choose the subject of your email, it should be right. And it should be completely conveying the message कि ये email exactly किसके बारे में. और आप उसमें दूसरी strategies use कर सकते हैं to attract your reader. But एक बात बहुत ज़रूरी है कि it should be less than 40 letters. Especially if you're sending it on a phone, the person is going to check. You have a feeling they might also check emails on their phone. तो उस पे तो और भी शायद कम उनको letters नजर आएंगे. तो maximum 30 or 40 letters, crossing that is a big problem. So you keep it very concise. Then when you come to the body of your email and communication, written communication, again, there is a lot of wordiness that can kill your message. So repetition of the same word is a big killer of your message. And in fact, I believe this study took place in Nevada, if I'm not wrong. I read about it some time back. And it said that a university in Nevada, they actually interacted with a lot of students and professionals. More than 2,000 people participated in this study. And most of them, when they interacted with them, they told them कि क्या चीज़ है जो कि written communication को सबसे ज़्यादा kill कर सकती है. So is it the wrong, bad grammar when the non-native speakers, जो हम जैसे जो लोग हैं जो कि as a second language use करते हैं English को, when they write, so is it the English grammar that kills the communication? Or is it the wrong level of formality कि आपने किसी को बहुत ही casually hi hello लिख दिया email में? Is it that will kill the wrong level of formality? या कोई और बात है कि जो spelling mistakes, can that actually, because spelling mistakes हमारे पास autocorrect काफी काम आता है, but spelling mistakes, is it that? But the number one communication killer, especially in written communication, was not having concise messages. So people start off somewhere completely different. And one-liner is always appreciated. So you can always begin like greetings of the day and hello, hope everything is fine and hope this email finds you well. But right after that, you come to the point. And you make sure that the call to action is very visible, very, very easily, very, very clearly seen in your email, in your message. And at the same time, people can get to the point of it very, very quickly. So you may call it, some people may call it that text messages ने हमारी आदत खराब कर दी है, but it's actually a good way to communicate your message very quickly, not like a text message. They will keep obviously some level of formality different there, but then the message has to be communicated very, very quickly. So it has to be concise. एक और चीज जो लोग अक्सर डिस्कस करते हैं, दैट इज द मल्टीटास्किंग. सो जमाना तेज हो रहा है, अब हमें मल्टीटास्किंग करने की जरूरत है, तो हम बहुत व्हिच बाय द वे आल्सो विल मीन that when you communicate with people around you in your surroundings and even professionally, now there is no one way of communicating. So in the old days you would communicate in the meetings, you would also write to people, you will write emails and all, and sometimes kuch log reports banate hain. But then talking more about not just internal but external communication की अगर हम बात करें, phones, emails, और अब हम जो देख रहे हैं, the kind of role the social networking sites are playing there, the apps, the WhatsApp groups that we are seeing with professionals as well, and the way you project yourself on the social media. So there is no one way to communicate with people now. You communicate with people in a lot of different ways, and all of them, for all of them, आपको कुछ वहाँ पे attention देनी पड़ेगी. So it doesn't have to be the case जहाँ पे कि probably you write an awesome email to somebody, या आप किसी से फोन पर बहुत अच्छी तरह से गुफ्तगू करें, या जब वर्चुअल मीटिंग जूम पर आप कनेक्ट करें या स्काइप पर तो बहुत अच्छी हो, लेकिन the way you projected yourself over LinkedIn, and a lot of times we see in our society especially, people don't like to write a lot, even if it's about themselves only. People don't like to project a very good image of themselves over LinkedIn. बहुत सारी दफा information is missing. A lot of times on the social media you just write anything and everything that comes to your mind, without taking care of your professional image, so which can always go against it also. So it's a good thing to understand कि बहुत सारे अब different avenues हैं जहाँ पे कि you can communicate with people, and whether you want it or not, you are actually communicating that this kind of an image I have. So you are actually communicating all kinds of people. But having said that, this would not be something the kind of multitasking people see it, you know. So people would say कि अब हमें हमेशा ही हर वक्त फोन पे, ईमेल पे, हर तरफ we are doing a lot of multitasking, and this would actually take away from the quality of communication as well, because you need to make sure that you're communicating something at one place only. So if you're talking to somebody, which is quite often and evident these days, that people are talking to you even in the office, you're talking about something important, office work, and people are texting at the same time, talking to you as well, might be writing an email and giving you some response and all, which is not a very good idea. It's always appreciated when you do one thing at a time. So multitasking means keeping one thing at a time, और फिर एक-एक करके सारे कामों को खत्म करना. Otherwise it's just bad planning. It would not be called multitasking actually. So okay, and the next part is that is constantly changing, is I want to mention something here. One thing जो कि बहुत अब जरूरी होती ही जा रही है वक्त के साथ, that is vocabulary enhancement. Now when I say vocabulary enhancement, people actually इसको काफी गलत misunderstanding भी इसकी हो सकती है. Vocabulary enhancement का मतलब, so in one of my sessions I asked people that आपको क्या लगता है, what should I say? Should I write in my email कि एक estimate भेज दें, या what do you think, a ballpark figure भेज दें, ज़्यादा अच्छा क्या रहेगा, या any other jargon that I used? So I would say, should I write expected or should I write anticipated? And most people chose anticipated. Most people would choose something like a ballpark figure, which is okay, which is fine. The business jargon हम लोग हमेशा अपने इर्द-गिर्द आजकल देख रहे हैं, अच्छी vocabulary हम देख रहे हैं. Vocabulary enhancement is important, but at the same time you need to first ask yourself who your audience is. So enhancement का मतलब सिर्फ उसे मुश्किल बनाना नहीं है. Actually the vocabulary enhancement would actually mean कि you are more aware now, आप ज़्यादा लफ्ज़ को सीख रहे हैं, आप ज़्यादा अपनी vocabulary बढ़ा रहे हैं. That's awesome. आपके पास ज़्यादा अच्छा expression है same बात को कहने का अलग-अलग तरीकों से. But at the same time, you are also able to decide कि मेरी जो audience है, जिसको मैं लिख रहा हूँ या लिख रही हूँ, या even over the phone if you're talking to someone for the first time, what kind of impression would I create? पहले समझने की ज़रूरत है कि आप deal किससे कर रहे हैं, who your actual audience is, and then you decide the right level of formality, the business jargon, उसको कितना मुश्किल, कितना tricky या कितना आसान होना चाहिए, और साथ ही साथ आप ये भी देखें कि वो रिलेट कितना कर पाएंगे उस लफ्ज के साथ. So उनकी फील्ड से रिलेटेड या आपको नहीं लगता कि वो रिलेट कर पाए, just to create an impression using something difficult, कोई difficult सा phrase या vocabulary use करना only to create an impression might actually go against you, which we actually never want. We actually want everyone to understand us. ये exact opposite हो जाएगा, अपनी बात message convey करने के बिल्कुल opposite हो जाएगा, because you are actually not focusing on communicating. You are focusing more on creating some kind of an impression, which is also not real, might be fake. So we would never want that actually. So vocabulary enhancement का मतलब सिर्फ मुश्किल अल्फाज सीखना नहीं, बल्कि ये भी है choosing the right word for the right time. And at the same time, completeness and clarity, these are the two aspects, because as I mentioned earlier, no one would have that much time and intention and attention. इतनी ज़्यादा नहीं होगी कि वो बार बार आपको ईमेल पे लिखकर फिर से क्लैरिटी मांगे और फिर से आप दोबारा से क्लैरिटी मांगे. And of course, this will actually be exact opposite of saving time. आप बहुत ज़्यादा वक्त इसमें डाल देंगे, तो आपको बार बार उनको लिखना पड़ेगा, क्लैरिटी मांगनी पड़ेगी. And you are quite irritated yourself when some email or some message is not clear. So आपको काफी ये problem face करना पड़ता है. So let's have some empathy here. Let's put yourself in their shoe as well, in your reader's shoe, and see what kind of confusions can be created and how can we bring more completeness or more clarity to our message. और एक बात जो मैं ऐड कर दूं, जो कि बदलते वक्त के साथ हमें सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती है सीखने की और याद रखने की, एक्नॉलेज करना ज़रूरी है. That is that you have to catch your readers or your listeners' attention. So how do you start? How do you actually communicate with your? और अभी हम ज़्यादातर दोनों तरह के communication की बात कर रहे हैं. But especially when you're writing to someone, how do you need to get the reader's attention? Are you actually writing for the reader? Are you actually writing for the person to read your message? Or are you actually just getting done with a task? That's it. तो अगर आपका मकसद है कि ये एक ईमेल आज भेजना बहुत ज़रूरी है, आज आखिरी दिन था इसका, let's get done with this task, तो फिर बात खत्म हो गई. Then there are more chances you will not be able to catch the reader's attention. तो आप सिर्फ ये बताएंगे कि I have come up with this, I want to share this with you, and what do you think? You would like to know this. इस तरह के अल्फाज इसमें बहुत बहुत कम इस्तेमाल किए जाएंगे. Okay, so this is also something that we'll have to make sure that is there. And by the way, you is the word that's magical. So I like to share this study with you, and a lot of people I share this with, and they're quite surprised to see. So at Yale, they carried out this study with different groups of people. और हर बार उन्होंने जब ये स्टडी की तो उनका रिजल्ट हमेशा ये आया कि there were a lot of words that can attract people's attention, catch people's attention. They can attract people, like the word change. So a lot of copywriters use these words in their scripts. वो जब लिखते हैं तो they use the word change, they would use the word guarantee, they would use the word love. A lot of words will be used. So top 10 words उन्होंने एक list बनाई, seeing with different people interacting with them. But the number one word that always was number one, beating all these, was a simple word like you. एक बहुत आसान सा लफ्ज़ था, you. That was the number one. And people, a lot of times miss out on that. So you just see, if you want, you can check out your last email or last time you communicated with someone. आप जा सकते हैं दोबारा और देख सकते हैं कि आपका जो written message, क्योंकि written message आपके साथ है, तो आपके पास proof मौजूद है. तो you can actually go back to your sent messages and check it out कि क्या वाकई में आपका जो last message था, was it actually catering to your audience, to your reader? क्या वो actually में कहीं पे you का element शामिल था, right? और या तो फिर वो सिर्फ आपने अपने लिए लिखा. That's it. So you can go and check it out actually today after this webinar. But the deal is that this is how it's all the more important to catch the reader's attention. Otherwise, you lose them right there. So that's why call to action clearly mentioned is very important. That's why it's very important that it's concise. And that's why it's very important that you cater to the reader actually. Cater to the reader. And you actually use the vocabulary according to their level. So that's all the more important now. Okay. Now, some of the things that would actually also not change, and I wanted to really mention this thing, so I really wanted to, because we are talking a lot about written communication and writing emails and all, but there is all the more importance to it's all the more important to communicate with people verbally and make long-lasting relationships, build long-lasting relationships with them as well. So it's right that the competition is a lot of times there, and it's also true that by the way, we have our personality types, right? So people would have their own personality types, so it's not necessary that अगर कोई एक आपका कॉलीग बहुत इस काम में बहुत माहिर है, जो बहुत अच्छे से लोगों को एंगेज कर लेता है, बहुत जल्दी है दोस्ती करने में, बहुत अच्छा स्किल है उसके पास, so you exactly try to copy that, which you would not like to, and which is you won't be comfortable doing that as well. So you be who you are, and there is a big 5 personality theory for that as well. So we all have different personality types. So one personality type is if you've read about it, or you can read about it further if you haven't. So one personality type इसमें होती है openness. So people are open, and ये वो लोग होते हैं जो who are more curious, okay, so who are more inventive, who would like to know more, so they're quite open. The second personality type is the people who are conscientious. So these are the people conscientious जो कि ज़्यादा efficient होते हैं, ज़्यादा organized होते हैं. So you will see their desk and you will know this is the personality type, because the desk is quite clean, very organized people. One personality type is extrovert, who would always like to talk to a lot of people. ये वो लोग होते हैं जो सबसे पहले दोस्त बनाते हैं किसी भी दफ्तर में जाते ही साथ. So quite extrovert, would love to party, would make plans all the time. One personality type is agreeable. तो ये वो लोग होते हैं जो कि ज़्यादा friendly होते हैं, ज़्यादा compassionate होते हैं. They don't have a problem following your lead. अगर आप lead करना चाहें इनको, they don't have a problem with that. So they are quite compassionate, quite agreeable, friendly also. And one personality type is neurotic. So these are the people who are, हालांकि लोग आमतौर पे कहते हैं neurotic लोग बहुत nervous होते हैं या बहुत negative सोचते हैं, but we can also say that they are quite sensitive. So let me repeat them for you actually. तो आप भी चाहें तो इसमें से कोई एक choose कर सकते हैं. You can decide which one you are, right? और ये भी fact है कि ये सारी personality types की कोई ना कोई quality आपके साथ जरूर मिलती है. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप एक ही personality type. So at different times you are different personality, but मैं repeat कर देता हूँ आपके लिए, and you can choose and decide which personality is the closest to you. So one is open, who likes to explore more, likes to be more curious. One is conscientious, जो कि आप चाहें तो लिख सकते हैं, open, conscientious, who is more efficient, more organized. Third one is extrovert, who likes to mingle with people all the time, very outgoing, very energetic. The fourth one is agreeable, who likes to agree with people, more compassionate, more friendly, no problem following the lead. And the fifth one is neurotic. So this is the one who's more sensitive, kind of can get nervous as well. And the beauty of this game is कि आपको अपनी personality type choose करने के बाद किसी को बताने की जरूरत नहीं. You know your personality type, that's awesome, good for you, awesome. Just do one thing. You can choose someone in your office who's the exact opposite personality type from you. Okay, so ये वो personality type हुई जो आपसे बिल्कुल match नहीं करती. So you choose a colleague who's exact opposite of this personality type, and then you try to come close to that individual. You try to be more friends with that individual. And the beauty of the game is that you learn a lot from that personality. क्योंकि जो भी उनकी personality traits है वो आपसे अलग है. तो अब आपको मौका मिलता है उनसे सीखने का कि उनकी जो खूबी है और आप में जो खूबी है जो कि शायद आप बहुत आसानी से नजरअंदाज कर देते हैं. They actually might cherish them. They might actually value that a lot. So they'll be able to be in a better position to appreciate your personality traits, and you can always learn a lot from them, and so can they. So we all have something in our personality types to offer. So this is a good way. ये एक बहुत अच्छा तरीका है to build and start building on your interpersonal skills with people. So you can actually begin with that today. You can actually start that. And especially the people who feel कि उनको ज़्यादा problem होती है लोगों से बात करने में, they can actually find out first what your personality type is, and then you can start mingling with people also. Okay, but so I was talking about a lot of things that are all the more important now. One more thing that is important is having good relationships with your colleagues, with the people around you. And एक ज़माना था जब बहुत सारे लोग बात करते थे इस बारे में भी कि हम लोग ये स्ट्रैटेजी अपनाएंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल एक सिंपल सा सिनेरियो है कि आपका कोई कॉलीग है या आपका कोई सबऑर्डिनेट है, who's not willing to open to you. The person is not willing to open to you, is not able to communicate properly with you. तो हालांकि कोई इसमें कोई लड़ाई नहीं है, कोई नेगेटिविटी नहीं है, but just the situation is quite awkward. So what can you actually do to open that person up? Can you think about it? What can you do? Yeah, अगर आप चाहें तो share भी कर सकते हैं. Share some ideas. What will be a good idea? What can we actually do to open up a colleague or an individual who's just not willing to open up to you? What can you do for that? So आप different strategies apply कर सकते हैं. What can be a good strategy for that? अगर आप में से कोई यहाँ पे भी जवाब लिखना चाहे, I would appreciate that. So please share that. क्या आप उसको ऑफिस के अलावा कुछ लोग कह सकते हैं हम उसे खाने पे ले जाना चाहते हैं. Let's build a relationship apart from office. Let's do something else. Let's create an environment where everybody is comfortable. A lot of things are suggested there. But मेरे पास अभी यहाँ पे कुछ लिखा हुआ मौजूद नहीं, तो मैं फिर शेयर कर देता हूँ जवाब. But a good strategy for this one, when somebody is not able to open up to you, instead of trying to open them up, you need to open up yourself. So this idea is actually taken from the Johari window. So two people, Joe and Harry, came up with this idea, and they have presented this window. And this window, the Johari window, has the 4 steps to it. So these 4 steps are, आप note down कर सकते हैं कहीं पे. These 4 steps are very simple. The first step is open. Open. The second one is hidden. The third one is blind. And the fourth one is unseen. Okay. So मैं एक एक करके दोबारा से repeat भी कर देता हूँ. और okay, अब मेरे पास, oh I'm so sorry, मेरे पास थोड़े से लेट आए जवाब. So किसी ने लिखा था first listen to them. That's correct. That's right. And try to build a better relationship for better communication. I'm guessing this is the answer. Okay. Yeah, but you first need to open up. So the Johari window I was talking about, इसकी जो 4 steps हैं, इसका दूसरे किसी से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं. ये सारी information आपके अपने बारे में. This is all about you. So let's see them, what they are. So the first step is the open. ये window, this is the information about yourself that you know and others also know. तो ये वो information है आपके बारे में जो आप भी जानते हैं और दूसरे लोग भी आपके बारे में जानते हैं. आपका designation या आपकी गाड़ी का color या आपकी family के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत कुछ. Anything that you know and others would too. So this is the open area of the Johari window. The second area is the hidden area. तो ये वो area है कि जो आप तो अपने बारे में जानते हैं लेकिन दूसरे नहीं जानते. Now mostly when you want to open up to people, this second area of the window helps you out. So this is something that you know about yourself but others don't. So there's no harm in sharing that with people. And I'm not talking about the deep dark secrets to be shared. These are your secrets, you can keep them. But apart from that, little things like where you graduated from or who you like to listen to in music, favorite band, anyone else, favorite movies, anything else. So a lot of times when an introverts face this problem a lot, so you gonna face this problem कि आप दूसरे वाले window को खोल के लोगों को बता नहीं पाते. So you know this about yourself, others don't know. So try to share this out with them. And think about it for a second. मैं आपको time देता हूँ 20 seconds का. Can you quickly think about something जो आपको पता है लेकिन आपके इर्द-गिर्द के लोगों को नहीं पता? If you are actually sitting with your colleagues or somewhere around that, think about it. What is one thing that they don't know about you and that you can easily share too? There is no harm in sharing that thing. I'm waiting for you. Think about it. What is one thing that you can actually share with them? And that is actually the hidden area. So you start sharing the stuff about yourself that other people don't know. And the third one, the third step, iske baad aata hai, the blind area. So this is the area, again, something about yourself that others might know, but you yourself don't know. How is that even possible? So it's based on perceptions, or it's based on a lot of times when you might not have noticed something about yourself. So you might have a skill that you have, but others know about it, but you don't. Or you might have always ignored that talent of yours, or something that you might have ignored, or you actually don't know. So it's based on the perception of yours. So it might be true, might not be, but ये आपको तभी पता चलेगा जब कोई आपसे share करेगा. So something that other people think about you, but you yourself don't know. So for this, you have to go through the second step. So you start sharing with people what you know, and then in turn, hope, and after some time, when the chemistry gets better, they start sharing with you the stuff that they know about you. And you might have not noticed about your own personality. Which takes you to the last step. That is just amazing, which is unseen. Unseen is the area that is, you don't know about yourself, and others don't know that either. So जब किसी को भी नहीं पता, you discover it together. So let's take an example. You go out somewhere with a colleague of yours, and there you realize that you are natural at swimming. आपको swimming बहुत पसंद है. You just found that out about yourself, and you tried swimming थोड़ा बहुत foreign से आपने सीख ली, बहुत आसानी से swim कर लिया, and you loved that actually. And other people also found out, and they gave you a compliment over this. Ke, wow, zabardast swimming karte hain aap. And you find out, oh wow, I actually never used to swim before. I just found this out about myself. So this is the place that you discover together. If you are lucky enough to get on that level with an individual, that kind of bonding can never be broken down. This is the best level of interpersonal relationship, जहाँ पे आप actually में लोगों के साथ वो वाला area discover करते हैं अपने बारे में जो आपको खुद भी नहीं पता. That's why the friendships that start in their childhood, that is always long lasting. अगर आपकी किसी दोस्त से बात हुई हो बचपन में और बहुत सालों के बाद बात हो, आपकी केमिस्ट्री वहीं से शुरू होती है जहाँ लास्ट टाइम खत्म हुई. Because that is the time when you're actually discovering a lot of stuff about yourself. So you and your friends actually discover the stuff together about themselves. And that is why this bonding is so strong. So if you're lucky enough to build that with one of your colleagues, क्योंकि हम अभी ज़्यादातर business से related बात कर रहे हैं, if you're able to develop that with one of your colleagues or friends in the time now, you're very lucky. And that chemistry is just awesome. Nothing can take that away now. So that's pretty awesome. So these are the 4 steps of the Johari window. You can remember, you can actually apply this. And usually we need to begin with the second area where you start sharing with people the stuff that you know about yourself, but others don't. Okay, so this is the thing. So I actually wanted to share a whole lot of stuff, but we have kind of talked about some of the changing norms, little bit about the VUCA world, कुछ चीजें जो हमें अब ज्यादा करने की जरूरत है वक्त के साथ, और कुछ चीजें ऐसी जो कि हमेशा साथ रहेंगी. I call them the aeonian principles, जो कि ageless होते हैं, यानी कि कुछ ऐसे rules of communication के that actually never change. They will always stay with you. So we've talked about both of them, the changing norms as well as the stuff that will always be the same. So I believe I should put a full stop here, because otherwise I'll keep talking, and it's better to give some people some chance to ask some of the questions also. If you have some questions, you can ask. मेरे पास एक तो question लिखा हुआ आ भी गया, I believe. यहाँ पर भी you guys can write the questions. I would love to answer them. और मेरे पास in person भी एक question मौजूद है. So let me start with that.
So people have been asking, is grammar important? How do I improve it?
Yes. So, okay. So a lot of times people might tell you that grammar is extremely important. A lot of times teachers usually used to tell us a lot in school and college and university. And then there came a time when people started saying that grammar is not that important. Yeah, Americans के लिए भी grammar important नहीं है. वो लोग तो इतने मजे से बोलते हैं, business करते हैं. There's no issue at all. Let me present an idea to you here. Grammar is actually the soul of the language. So without grammar, you will not be able to communicate. It's that important. Okay? एक छोटा सा misconception यहाँ पर है, मैं उसको quickly दूर कर देता हूँ. Grammar is not the thing that you might have seen it as. यानी हो सकता है कि आप grammar किसी और चीज को समझते हैं. Okay? How? Let me give you an example. So a native English speaker जो कि अमेरिका में या ब्रिटेन में पला बड़ा है, पैदाइश भी वहीं की है, उनकी first language English है. And I have been fortunate enough to work with a lot of native speakers in the past. So I have worked with them, I have taught with them. When I used to interact with them, sometimes because I was into English proficiency programs completely before in my life. So I used to ask them technical questions like, what is a subjunctive? Or what is a helping verb? Can you tell me? And native English speakers who are also teaching English were not able to answer me. It was quite, it was quite shocking for me. But it was possible कि उनकी पहली ज़बान अंग्रेजी थी और वो बहुत ज़बरदस्त ग्रामर बोल रहे थे, लेकिन उनको rules of the grammar नहीं पता. So there are two different things actually. One is actually the knowledge of grammar, the ability to use grammar. Grammar actually एक structure होता है, एक format होता है sentence का जो आप इस्तेमाल करते हैं अपने sentences में. If you know that format right, जैसे आप उर्दू की grammar use करते हैं, so you know Urdu grammar all the time without knowing any formulas of Urdu. So the big misconception here is that formula is actually grammar. No, it's not. So that's why grammar is the soul of the language. Without that, you will always end up making broken sentences, जो किसी काम के नहीं होंगे. Whether it is written communication or verbal or oral communication. लेकिन उसमें problem ये आएगी हमेशा कि if you are always learning through formulas, you will not be able to use it on the spot, which is the problem with us, right? So in Pakistani society, a lot of people go towards English classes, English language classes, और उनको programs करने पड़ते हैं, professional काम शुरू करने के बाद they have to go back to learning English again. हालांकि they are from very good colleges and universities, जहाँ पे अंग्रेजी बाकायदा सिखाई जाती है. English was a compulsory subject, but still they are not able to use it professionally. And that happens because you always learned it through formulas. So जब आपको किसी से बात करनी होगी, the subject object verb will actually not help you. This formula is of no use. Actually, what helps you is being in practice and learning it naturally. So how you learn it naturally? Through reading and listening. So these are your two best friends. So you listen to the native speakers. जैसे आपने उर्दू की grammar सीखी थी without learning any formulas. You used to listen to your parents all the time, right? Your parents actually never gave you any formulas of Urdu language. ज़्यादातर मुझे लग रहा है, I'm assuming कि ज़्यादातर यहाँ पे उर्दू speaking लोग हैं. But अगर आपकी पहली ज़बान पंजाबी हो, सिंधी हो, any other language, that is your first language. How you learned that was by listening to your parents. And that is exactly how you're supposed to learn any other language that you want to. Of course, now you are a grown up. Now अब हमारा catching power एक baby की तरह शायद इतना तेज ना हो. Plus you cannot afford that much time as well. So to learn it quickly, you can take help of the formulas and conjugations and all. But apart from that, what will always come handy is the habit of reading, the habit of listening to the native speakers, right? And that is how you can learn it naturally. Okay, any other questions? You can write down the questions here as well. I would love to answer those questions. Go on. Okay, मैं एक और ले लेता हूँ यहाँ से.
So we have another question. How can I write faster?
Okay, so yeah, and मेरा ख्याल है ये ज़्यादातर है in the context of writing emails, because ज़्यादातर professionals whenever I'm having a training session as well, most of them, apart from the report writing, business letters की ज़्यादातर बात नहीं होती. Mostly it's about the email writing actually. So one quick, मैं दो तीन यहाँ पे tips दे देता हूँ. One quick tip and one quick advice is that keep it all organized. जो आपका inbox है, जो आपका system है, जो आप use करते हैं. So have a tidy folder. Okay. Have an organized email application. That is one thing that you need to do. And second thing is keep a time of the day when you can actually check your emails and reply to them. आमतौर पे 2 दफा आप दिन में check कर सकते हैं. That is a rule of thumb for that. So you can decide कि आप एक दफा 12 बजे चाहे तो आप. This works for a lot of people. And if you have not read the book, I would suggest reading the 4-Hour Work Week. You can read, amazing book. Again, very creative, innovative ideas to save time in that. So the writer suggests the same thing, that you can check your emails at 12 o'clock every day. So he used to do this, that you can do the same, that you can keep the first 2-3 hours for your work complete. So you don't come to the office and rush into it and check emails and then try to reply and then delay it, के बाद में reply करते. You keep one time for it and be disciplined about it, that I'll be checking these emails at this time. And साथ ही साथ I'll be replying to these emails. अपनी deadlines के साथ उस time को discipline के साथ थोड़ा सा. और जो तीसरी टिप है जो बहुत ज़्यादा handy है तकरीबन सारे professionals के लिए, हम सब के jobs में 2-3 तरह की emails होती हैं जो हमें तकरीबन रोज भेजनी होती है. और अगर रोज नहीं तो quite often we use those emails, okay? तो आमतौर पे आपको कुछ रिपोर्ट शेयर करनी होती है, आमतौर पे कुछ एनालिसिस देने होते हैं, आमतौर पे एक दो तरह की ईमेल्स होती हैं जो आपको तकरीबन हमेशा भेजनी होती है. So decide कि ये 2-3 तरह की emails हैं that I have to work on, and then after that keep a template ready for that. तो आप अपना template उसके लिए तैयार रखते हैं. The opening line, greetings of the day, आप तैयार रखते हैं. Hope this finds you in good health. Hope this finds you well. एक अपनी opening line हर email के लिए आप तैयार रखते हैं. एक closing line, looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to hearing from you. आप चाहें तो लिख सकते हैं अभी भी. Looking forward to hearing from you. And I was just talking to someone about it, that looking forward to hearing, and you can use it in a lot of scenarios. So you say hearing, you replace it with seeing, you replace it with listening, you replace it with meeting, and in different scenarios you can use the same line. तो आप किसी से मिलना चाहते हैं, after email मौका है कि शायद आपकी मुलाकात हो, you can write looking forward to meeting you soon. आप चाहते हैं कि जवाब जल्दी मौसूल हो, looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, so looking forward to receiving your feedback or your work, something like that. So quick format, एक starting line, एक ending line, एक template तैयार रखें उसके लिए. तो जैसे ही मौका आए, you just go ahead with that and you can write it and send your message very, very, save a lot of time with that. A lot of people can do that. Okay, so मुझे थोड़ा सा मैं क्वेश्चन पढ़ने की भी कोशिश कर लेता हूँ. बहुत सारी चीजें साथ आ रही है. Oh wow, wonderful, awesome. बहुत जबरदस्त यहाँ पर एक क्वेश्चन आया और काफी लंबा क्वेश्चन है. First I was in doubt if I'll be able to read it that quickly, but thank God I was. So सवाल ये है कि अच्छा, इस सवाल की मैं एक बात पहले तो छोटी सी इसमें एडिशन कर देता हूँ. क्वेश्चन बहुत जबरदस्त है कि you talked about the VUCA world and changing times and how you can use better vocabulary and words and all that. तो आपने words की बात की है जो कि 7% काम आते हैं, लेकिन 93% जो है वो नॉन वर्बल काम आती हैं चीजें. तो how can we work on that also? Brilliant question, जबरदस्त सवाल. मैं पहले 7 और 93% पे छोटी सी एक चीज ऐड कर देता हूँ. This was a research, this was carried out by Albert Mahrabian, and ये 1960s की बात है when he presented this idea that around 38% came from जो उन्होंने जिस ग्रुप के साथ काम किया था वहाँ पे जब लोगों ने बात की थी और कम्युनिकेट किया था. So around 38% came from the tone actually. और टोन की जहाँ तक हम बात करते हैं, टोन भी लफ्जों के साथ ही एक्चुअली में क्रिएट होती है. तो खैर वो एक डिफरेंट बात है. और 55% जो है वो बॉडी लैंग्वेज की बात होती है. तो दिस वाज द डिवीजन दैट ही प्रेजेंटेड. इसका बड़ा मजे का पाई चार्ट होता है, शायद आपने कभी देखा हो. बट आई वांट टू ऐड वन थिंग हियर दैट अब क्योंकि हमारे पास ये पाई चार्ट मौजूद है और हमने काफी सारे वर्कशॉप्स में और अपने यूनिवर्सिटी के लेक्चर्स लेते हुए भी ये पाई चार्ट देखा है, तो वी ऑल बिलीव completely in this. So we are quite simple actually. हम लोग काफी simple लोग हैं. हमें कोई ऐसा पाई चार्ट दिखाता है, हम फौरन से मान लेते हैं. So that is a good. So it was a good thing to show to people कि non-verbal communication का एक बहुत बड़ा part होता है, which is a fact. But having said that, Albert Mehrabian, if you read more about him, after a few years he also presented the idea कि ये, और उसने खुद ने भी इस चीज को लिखा बाकायदा कि ये वाला जो रिजल्ट था ये सिर्फ उस ग्रुप के लिए था जो अपने बारे में ज्यादा बात कर रहे थे. In a particular scenario, they were talking about themselves mostly. So this scenario proved out to be right. It wasn't a hard and fast rule or a fixed thing. It wasn't like that. कि अल्फाज की इंपॉर्टेंस हमेशा सिर्फ 7% ही रहेगी, बॉडी लैंग्वेज की हमेशा ज्यादा. It wasn't a hard and fast rule like that. So you can believe in that. It's a good one. It's a good thing to know actually, and being aware about the non-verbal communication as well. सवाल का जवाब मैं दे देता हूँ. The two books that I've suggested, they also talk a lot about communication, but at the same time, इसके लिए बहुत सारी टिप्स और ट्रिक्स होती हैं. बट 2-3 चीजें बहुत बेसिक है नॉन वर्बल कम्युनिकेशन के लिए. एक, because we started with intrapersonal communication, if you remember. तो intrapersonal communication is important because पहले आप अपने आप को इस बात का यकीन दिलाते हैं that something is worth sharing, that you want to communicate really, and then it reflects on your body as well. After that, 2-3 चीजें एक fix, it's a rule of thumb. You can always note it down that close posture is always bad. So it's not about the VUCA world only. So but it's always there. चाहे ये पुराना ज़माना हो, नया ज़माना हो, the close posture is never ever appreciated. The crossed arms and all. कभी-कभी to be more comfortable at a party or at an event, you can stand or sit like that. But mostly, especially when you're talking to people, it's not a very good idea. क्योंकि close posture का एक मतलब ये हो सकता है that you are a little hesitant, कि आपका confidence कम है या आप nervous हैं, especially while facing people. और दूसरा प्रॉब्लम इसमें ये भी हो सकता है कि you are not willing to accept the idea. So this would actually mean कि आप जो भी बात addition करें, I don't want to accept that. I'll just talk and leave. That's it. So you actually want to sit firm, straight. एक और इसकी strategy होती है that don't slouch. ये दो तीन tips जो हैं ये हमेशा basic. They are always the same about non-verbal communication. कि आप slouch मतलब आप ज़्यादा अपने bent posture में या अपने जब आप meeting करें client के साथ तो try to keep both your feet on the floor. Don't cross your legs too much. And apart from that, make good eye contact. Smile. Smile is always your X factor. So these are quite helpful. And I think that pretty much it. That sums it up pretty much it, I guess. And in fact, I wanted more questions. मुझे लग रहा है शायद और भी कुछ लोग पूछना चाहे. I would love to answer these questions. But since 1 hour was committed for this webinar, I really want to mention here that all the people who joined us, a lot of people were really excited and enthusiastic about joining us in this webinar. And as I mentioned earlier, मैंने पहले भी शुरू में mention कर दिया था in case somebody joined us late, the Jubilee team that has joined us today, और माशाल्लाह से बहुत बड़ा group था, around 37 people who have hopefully joined us. And apart from that, some of the clients I've recently worked with and some of the friends I have made and some new people also. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Hope it gave you a lot of new stuff and something to remember me by. And inshallah, see you around. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.